Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Nose Bulletin here at the 4th Official with myself, Mitch, covering for Gary. So we're going to cover up a wee bit of what's going on over the last few days and just kind of overall touch on what's been happening and how everything's working. All the incomings and outgoings, and of course today's news as well on the Scottish Cup draw. So let's start with the elephant in the room. As we all know, Joan Jordan has rejected the opportunity to join the club currently, with the reports coming out in Spain that the player had some reservations about leaving Spain, mostly due to the fact that he spent the entirety of his career in Spain and never moved anywhere else out with Spain. There could be further developments there, or it could very well be that the club have now decided that will be where the conversation goes. As you can tell, I'm looking about as haggard as our transfer window is at the moment there, so you'll have to bear with me. On Friday, we have announced very much a first-team starting player in Vaclav Kearney, the talented winger coming on loan from Wolfsburg for the season, with no obligations or options to purchase as far as we're aware at the end of the current season. The player is a player who has linked up with Danilo over at FC20 previously. An incredibly talented winger, pacey, got a few tricks in his locker. And yeah, let's wish him all the best as he joins the club. Reports coming out in Cyprus today that Connor has in fact joined up with Aris Limassol. He should be announced by the club. He should be announced by the club come around about kind of midweek, from what we've heard from a good friend over Stell over at Mappa. Give Stella a follow there on this as Mappa over on Twitter. Lovely guy, great knowledge of Cypriot football. And overall great egg. Again, no worries about Connor's impending transfer to Cyprus. As far as we're led to believe, he joined up with the club over in their pre-season tour of Austria. I believe there was some rumours and conjecture that it might have potentially played today. That has obviously not happened as of the time of recording. Following on from other departures, following yesterday's friendly draw yesterday, manager Phil Clement has come out and said that until such time as a player has departed, they will be in the first team. At the moment, maybe putting a bit of cooling on those James Tavernier rumours, or potentially being a bit more of a drawn-out transfer over to Turkey or elsewhere, as we'll know more in the coming weeks. But what has become very clear is the club are definitely now targeting the players of a particular profile, players that can definitely move into the first team straight away. I think we've probably all noticed the need there probably to shore up the defence, probably in the middle. And adding that little bit of steel and a bit of experience in the middle of the park certainly isn't going to hurt. We'd obviously like to maybe see another striker coming in, but we all know that may be dependent on other things happening. We have also been linked with, which does seem to be a bit of nonsense there, Baros there over at FC Porto, the talented winger. Reports coming out that ourselves and another club have not matched Porto's £15 million valuation of the winger, which we can obviously imagine that we will not be paying £15 million for a player. In terms of further departures and reckonings going on, it does look like Yanis Hadji's move to Fiorentina should be ratified probably within the next couple of days. Rumour coming out there that deal is pretty much already through the line, and both teams have more or less agreed on the valuation. But what is nice to hear is there is a lot of movement and a lot of obviously productive movement there as well. We have heard that we do have interest in a couple of centre backs at the moment. One player that we all know is very much available on the loan market at the moment would be Harry Suter. The link seems a wee bit obvious, but we don't know obviously if anything could come of that or not. And as always with this transfer window, Niles Coppin and manager Phil Clement have kept us how should we say, in the dark a little bit there and made a few surprises for us as well. We would also just like to say a huge welcome back to John Fleck, who is currently training with the team at the moment, as he looks to go in search of a new team for himself at the moment. So yeah, there does seem to be a few bits of moving and shaking, and does seem to be a little bit of moving and shaking, a little bit of everything else in between at the moment. And as always, there is no updates at the moment on the futures of Todd Cantwell, other than what we spoke about the other day with him currently training with the B team. That could be a transfer, though, that does particularly move fairly quickly if he has a couple of interested parties. So yes, we will keep you up to date with all things going on, obviously transfer-wise, with the club over the coming days. And also, we have just had our first home cup game announced there, obviously, against St Johnstone for the start of this season. That will obviously take place at Hampden over the course of next month. In terms of whether or not we get the Saturday or the Sunday date, obviously only time will tell. As always, we might very well end up finding ourselves with a lovely 5 p.m. kick-off on a Sunday over at Hampden, so who knows? Stay tuned. Well, until next time, thank you very much, and this has been the Fourth Official. I have very much been Mitch, and speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.